welcome everyone to Whip's Word. I'm Whip Villarreal and ready to get this new season of The Word rolling. You know, a lot has happened since we last met. Jon Stewart stepped down from The Daily Show while Colbert took over The Late Show. Ironically, white people fell in love with NWA while simultaneously turning their back on Bill Cosby. The Supreme Court recognized gay marriage while a Kentucky clerk is doing God's work by obstructing justice while being praised by fundamentalists and presidential candidates alike. And the U.S. and Cuba are now BFFs on Twitter. Oh, who would have known? But in the midst of all this change, nothing stood out more than this.
I am officially running for President of the United States, and we are going to make our country great again.
Yes, if you recall, on The Last Word, we talked about the presidential election, but then there were only a few candidates. Back then, the Donald didn't enter the race, but when he did, this was part of his announcement speech.
When Mexico sends its people, they're not sending their best. They're not sending you. They're not sending you. They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists, and some, I assume, are good people.
Hey, I'm just saying, I make deals. I make wonderful, wonderful deals. That I can tell you. And you know what?
We will have so much winning if I get elected that you may get bored with winning. Believe me.
Oh, I love the smell of ignorance in the morning. You know, when Charlie Sheen used to talk like this about winning, he was coked up, so I think he had an excuse. And for a guy who hates Mexicans, I mean immigrants, he sure does like to date, marry, and have kids with them. This is the Frankenstein monster created by Fox News and the Tea Party. And the hypocrisy, I would like to say, is hard to believe, but at this point, it's 2015 and anything's possible. He never apologizes, he's never wrong, and he doubles down on his statements. He's like the white Kanye West. If he ends up losing the bid for the White House, it wouldn't surprise me if he interrupted the winner's speech. Hey, look, I'm gonna let you finish, but I'm just saying Obama's a Muslim. I'm just saying. And during the debate, when he goes off and spats things like this.
Autism has become an epidemic. 25 years ago, 35 years ago, you look at the statistics, not even close. First of all, Rand Paul shouldn't even be on this stage. He's number 11. He's got 1% in the polls, and how he got up here, there's far too many people. Anyway, I never attacked him on his look, and believe me, there's plenty of subject matter right there.
Donald Trump said the following about you, quote, "Look at that face. Would anyone vote for that? Can you imagine that, the face of our next president?" Mr. Trump later said he was talking about your persona, not your appearance.
I think women all over this country heard very clearly what Mr. Trump said.
I think she's got a beautiful face, and I think she's a beautiful woman.
You got Hillary Clinton to go to your wedding because you gave her money. True. Maybe it works for Hillary Clinton. It doesn't work for anybody on this stage.
I was a businessman. I got along with Clinton. I got along with everybody. That was my job, to get along with people.
But the simple fact is...
Excuse me. 1 second.
No.
I didn't want to.
Donald, you cannot take
more energy tonight. I like that.
This would be the only way to describe my reaction to his statements along with the rest of the candidates.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
But all jokes aside, the reason that I bring up Trump, other than for comedic purposes, is to highlight that he is the reflection on the mirror when the mirror is in front of Fox News. The rampant racism, shaming of the poor, double standards, sexism, misogyny, and hypocrisy undertones they both spew is remarkably identical. How is this different from this?
a lot of people, but what is it with you and Megyn Kelly?
Well, I just don't respect her as a journalist. You could see there was blood coming out of her eyes, blood coming out of her wherever.
Migraines may ensue, or you'll bleed from your eyes and your nose, or whatever.
Oh my God.
But my point.
Or this.
About women's looks. You once told a contestant on Celebrity Apprentice it would be a pretty picture to see her on her knees. Does that sound to you like the temperament of a man we should elect as president? And how will you answer the charge from Hillary Clinton, who is likely to be the Democratic nominee, that you are part of the war on women?
I think the big problem this country has is being politically correct.
Different from this.
When you interview her, will she be sitting on your lap?
One can only hope.
And this.
She got 100 catcalls. Let me add 101. Damn, baby, you're a piece of woman.
When Bill Maher talks about Fox News viewers live in an impenetrable bubble, I think he's right. For example, though conservatives are against amnesty, they forget that good old Saint Reagan did just that during his presidency. He also raised taxes 11 times and tripled the debt. Another popular theory among conservatives is that Obamacare is a government takeover of health care and unconstitutional. However, Obamacare is in no way a government takeover of health care. In fact, it forces people to become customers of private insurance companies. So until the day that the American public can agree that Fox News is not what you call news, well, my friends, Trumpnado will just continue to lead the polls, and Rupert Murdoch's company will continue to be fair and balanced. And that, my friends, is Whip's word.